This week on Split Screen, a Mainer you know, Linda Greenlaw. We'll catch up with her on the links as she talks about life and golf. And despite a developmental disability, he is living his dream on the Portland Waterfront. We'll meet Eric Hughes, a Mainer you should know. Welcome to Split Screen. I'm Shannon Moss. Linda Greenlaw shot to fame when she was featured in the book and movie The Perfect Storm. She's the only female sword fishing captain in America. She's also a New York Times best-selling author. Many of you already knew that, but what you may not know is she's a newlywed, a new mom, and a pretty good golfer.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. You ready to golf?
Yep, all ready.
Do you ever drive a car or do we always drive a boat?
Mostly the boat.
Come on.
Not usually this one, though.
This one's a beauty. Oh my gosh, wow.
My husband built this boat.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. That's great. We ready to golf?
Yes.
Let's do it. Or I should say, are you ready to golf? Am I ready to watch? I've never golfed. All right, look at a cart waiting for us.
Perfect.
All right, so what club do we use here?
I'm going to use a 3-wood.
Okay. That means nothing to me, but
okay,
sounds
well,
good.
It's not that big a distance. It's only like 115, but it's all uphill. See those people up there? You do not want to hit them.
That would not be good.
Yeah,
Was
they'd
it
be really
4?
unhappy.
Was
It'd
it
be fun
yelling
for us, but they wouldn't like it very much.
Sorry about that.
All right.
No pressure, Linda, no pressure.
Wow, first swing of a long time.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not really where we wanted to be, but it'll work. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
I think. See, that's the good thing about golfing with me, though. Is see, I wouldn't know, so I'm impressed.
You're the kind of person I want to golf with all the time. Go up and see if we can find it.
All right, that's the deal. Let's talk about how you became a household name after you were featured in The Perfect Storm. Is your life how you expected it would be?
No, my life has never been what I have expected it or anyone else has expected it to be. But since The Perfect Storm, my life has taken some really drastic changes, things that I didn't anticipate. Some things happen that do change your life. Very generous portrayal in The Perfect Storm about Linda Greenlaw had significant effect on my life. I never expected I'd write a book, never anticipated, never aspired to writing anything. I was very happy with my fishing career. And got in from lobstering one night and had a message on my answering machine. Now keep in mind that The Perfect Storm was on the top of every bestseller list on the planet. And got this call, and I remember like it was yesterday. Hi Linda, this is Emily Bestler calling from Simon & Schuster. We've read The Perfect Storm and we're really intrigued with this female fisherman thing you have going on. Do you want to write a book? And at the time I thought, no, that sounds like work. I don't want to write a book. And I never even returned the woman's call.
Are you serious?
Never returned her call. And then within a week's time, I had very similar calls, major publishers in New York saying, we've read The Perfect Storm, will you write a book? And I had to understand what an opportunity I was being handed. I have friends who would kill for an opportunity to have a book published. Right. I have friends who write beautifully, but they can't get anybody to pay attention. So, I mean, how lucky, was I that somebody, they didn't know if I could write. They're saying, will you write a book? So, yeah, definitely my portrayal in The Perfect Storm was, life-changing, for sure.
What is it about golf that you like, Linda?
What I like about golf is exactly the same thing I like about fishing. It's like the sheer optimism of it. Like fishing, it's when the tide turns, when the moon changes, when the temperature changes. Golf, it's, the next hole, the next shot. Same, sheer optimism. That's what I love about both of them. But I'm an eternal optimist, so I can do both.
But they're so different in that, you know, the fish adrenaline and always out there, and this is more, is this relaxing at all?
Oh yeah, this is definitely more relaxing than fishing because I don't take it seriously. It's more fun just to play and laugh.
All right, let's check it out.
We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. My experience in the Perfect Storm, the weather event,
Right.
When I talk about that, generally people are a little disappointed in my answer, but you know, like that was 1991.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of years have gone by. As opposed to what, you know, you saw in the movie, there wasn't that screaming back and forth on the radio between Billy Tyne and myself. Whatever happened very quickly. It was just never heard from again. Nothing was ever found. Pretty much disappeared, boat and crew without a trace, or very little trace. My experience in the storm, I had some warning. Boats west of me, weather in this hemisphere moves from west to east. So my best indicator are the guys west of me. I was fishing farthest to the east in the fleet, and you know, get up in the morning, the weather was kind of iffy, and I could hear the guys west of me really struggling. And these are guys who I'd fished around all of my life, who were very much accustomed to riding out hurricane storms. It's part of the deal when you go to the Grand Banks during hurricane season. And they weren't saying things like, oh, you know, we're scared, but the things that they were saying scared me. They were saying things like, you know, don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do this. And their voices were different. Because I was farthest to the east, I had a little bit of warning and made a decision to steam north into colder water. So I was able to get away from it or out of the worst part of it. We had 70-knot winds for a couple of days. It was terrible. It was not life-threatening. I've seen worse weather. So the worst part of that whole experience for me was the disappearance of, you know, a boat and 6 men.
That you knew?
That I knew, yes.
But you know also that it's a risk every time you go out there. You're out for long periods of time. You obviously deal with all sorts of weather, and sometimes you can't just come right into shore. When you're so far out, you have to deal with it. Have you ever been so scared, though, that, because you said you've seen worse conditions?
Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said I'd never been very frightened at sea. Many times. I've had times that I've said my prayers to my God and, you know, like, just let me get home from this one and I'll never go again. Of course, it was go again. It's sort of the nature of the business. And I can say with you know, a great degree of certainty, anybody who spends a lot of time at sea has had an episode where they've been frightened for their lives.
But it's the lure. What is it about the sea?
Again, I mean, it's the same. It's tough to say. I mean, I love what I do. I am passionate about catching fish. I like the way I feel when I'm at sea. But really, you know, just to put it in a nutshell, is the same thing with a round of golf. I like the optimism of it. I am an optimist, and if you live your life on a fishing boat, you better be optimistic. You know, you have to think, well, the weather's going to get better, the fish are going to start biting, and, you know, this is going to happen, that's going to... You're always looking for the next hook, the next set, the next trip. And it's the same thing with a round of golf. It's the next hole, the next putt, you know, it's going to go in. So that's what I love about it.
When we come back, how motherhood found Linda Greenlaw. Like many women, marriage and children was something Linda Greenlaw wanted, wished for. And just when she thought it wasn't in the cards, life happened. 9 books.
Nine.
Did you ever think you'd read 9 books?
I can't believe it, like when somebody introduces me as an author.
You're like really looking for one? You're
9 books, I know. Yeah, I had to pinch myself every day. So, I mean, the writing's been very good, which is nice. I don't enjoy writing. It's not an activity that I really look forward to doing ever. It's work.
Right.
It's work, and you know, you work hard at it, and you like to think that you get better and better as you go. So,
I've read so many of them, and they're wonderful, and you're a great writer. But it's funny that you don't enjoy it. It's almost like a blessing and a curse kind of thing.
Exactly. I mean, I love my books, but I do not enjoy the process at all. Most of the time when I'm writing, I'm at my home on Isle of Ho, and I have a lot of glass, and I'm looking over Penobscot Bay, and I'm sitting trying to write, and I see my friends going by in their lobster boats, and I'm thinking, ah! So that part of it's tough.
Is that where you're most comfortable? Like, if you look out here at this view, Is that, you know, you want to be out there? Is that like home?
Yeah, I feel very much at home at sea. So I think mostly just because I've spent so much time at sea. I started fishing commercially at the age of 19, and those were 30-day trips, you know, and then that went, you know, after college graduation to doing it year-round and being offshore far more than I was ashore. I still love what I do, except for the writing.
Right, exactly. Now, do you think your mom, did I read somewhere that she was oh, you're gonna be a commercial fisherman for your job? Because you're a Colby graduate, you know, English and government, right? Major.
My parents were not happy with my decision to start fishing year-round. You know, it was okay when it was a summer job to help pay my way through school. And back in 1979, there was a lot of money in commercial fishing, and it worked out really well. When I graduated and took my degree offshore, yeah, it wasn't a real good thing with my folks.
It helps with the books. You write, you know, you didn't need a ghostwriter.
Well, exactly, yeah. You know, for years I would sort of endure the advice from parents and other people saying, you know, you're wasting your education. Commercial fishing is no place for an educated young person, and I have an opportunity quite often to speak to schools, whether it's a commencement address or just going in for a very informal thing. One of the things that I always stress is that your education is never wasted. It's just not possible. Your education becomes you. I like to think that I use all of my education doing whatever I'm doing, writing, fishing, book touring, playing around to golf.
Sure.
It's impossible to waste it. So a lot of parents don't like to hear me say that.
But it's true.
It is true.
It is true. You've had something else, a different change in your life that's, I would imagine, opened it up to all these amazing possibilities. Talk a little bit about that book.
Right, book number 9, Life-Saving Lessons, and I've done a fair amount of touring, book touring with Life-Saving Lessons, and one of the things that I kept hearing along the book tour was people's opinions that this book is such a departure for Linda Greenlaw, and I disagree with that. I mean, my life has been a departure. I write about my life, so in that way I think Life-Saving Lessons is very much in keeping with everything else that I've done. And I always describe Life-Saving Lessons as a horror story with a happy ending. And I think that's fairly accurate. I became a legal guardian of a young girl out on Isle Ho. She was 15 years old. I had always wanted children. Didn't necessarily want to start with a 15, you know, a teenage girl, a very difficult teenage girl. And it's my perspective of how that whole thing transpired. Our relationship, and how it grew from something very ugly to something very nice.
And what is it like to be a legal guardian? A mom. I mean, you basically are her mom.
I'm definitely her mom now, and that was definitely a role that I grew into. Like, we both grew into it, and it's great. It's great. She's away at college right now. My husband and I are celebrating our first anniversary. And, you know, flowers showed up with this beautiful card from my daughter. Yeah, so it's nice.
Is that nice to say, my daughter?
It is nice to say. And I very much feel like her mother, so it feels natural. And we were a long time getting there, but we made it.
I don't even know how to hold this.
Put your hands the other way.
Oh. Like this?
No, you had it right the first time.
This way?
No, the other way.
This way?
Yeah, yep, there you go. Watch her get it right in. Come on, Shannon. It's better than I did.
All right, let's see here.
Yes! Yay! Nice. You're a natural.
This can be addicting.
Oh no, you have to take it.
Oh, okay.
It feels good to take it out of there.
Look at that. Okay.
Nice.
Look at that. Here we go. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I can see why you like to golf. I can. All right, so fun few last questions. Celebrity crush.
For a long time, I had a crush on John Daly, who's a golfer. He's like the bad boy of golf.
Yeah, he is.
And he like never plays anymore, so I never get to sort of watch him on TV. My other crush that I've been very open about is Pat Conroy, who's an author. He's my favorite author. It's actually pretty funny. I was doing a book event in Blue Hill, Maine, and during the Q&A, somebody said, you know, who's your favorite author? And I went on and on and on about Pat Conroy to the point of actually saying I'm in love with him. And you know, I really was pretty ridiculous probably. And then, you know, it got to the point where I'm sitting and signing books, and a woman wanted a book signed, and she wanted me to write it to Pat Conroy and Sally. And I said, oh, you like him too? And she said, yeah, he's my husband. I was like, Oh
my gosh, you're kidding me.
Like, I just confessed like this secret love of your husband. And she was like, he's gonna be really upset that he was not here tonight to listen to that. Well, they were vacationing, they rented a house in Blue Hill, and
how great is that?
He didn't come to my event. Yeah.
Well, you know, that's his loss. That's his loss.
I like to think so.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's great. What's next for Linda Greenlaw? A partnership with Hannaford Supermarkets to promote her swordfish as a sustainable, healthy food. And maybe working on her putting, just a little. Linda also keeps busy every Tuesday evening doing something she's always wanted to do. We'll tell you what that is coming up at the end of the show. But first, after the break, a must-see interview with Eric Hughes, a Mainer you should know. Eric Hughes loves pizza and people, and like any ambitious, determined young man, he wanted to turn those loves into a career. But unlike most people, Eric faced a big obstacle. He was born with Williams syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that can result in medical concerns and developmental delays. But thanks to a supportive family and a community, including Tony Barrasso from Anthony's Italian Kitchen, Strive U, a post-secondary school for students with developmental disabilities, Eric Hughes has turned his passion into his profession. What do you love about owning your own pizza cart?
I love it because I get to be around people. I like people a lot, so yes.
What is it about people that you like? Because you meet a whole bunch of different people down here on the Waterfront.
Like, they're all very nice. Some of them can be kind of crazy, and yeah.
Who isn't though, right?
Right.
Who's a little crazy?
Yeah. But it's really fun to get to like walk around and see everybody, so it's nice.
Now, you've wanted to do this since you were younger, right? This is your dream?
Yeah.
Yeah? And it was just because of the people, or you wanted to be out among everybody?
I met a guy named Vinny. He owns his own pizza cart, and I met him at the Cumberland Fair, and he made me want to do this, so it's really cool.
So he was sort of the inspiration for you?
Yeah.
Wow. So you went through Strive, you had a great time with Strive.
I did.
Talk about how that sort of helped prepare you for this. Like, what did it teach you?
It teaches me how to be on my own and how to live on my own.
So he's coming down to get pizzas. He's at a meeting at noon. Does he often come down and harass you down here?
No.
Just when he needs food?
Yes.
All right. How do you think of this guy? He's a pretty good guy, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a very good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Strive's a pretty unique nonprofit that works with about 850 young people with developmental disabilities. We do social, educational, employment training programs. And then Eric went through one of our 9 different programs called Strive U, which is a post-secondary education program geared towards people with developmental disabilities that teaches people how to live on their own and prepares them to work in the community. They take classes at the University of Southern Maine, and then our goal is that they're able to move into their own apartment at the end of 2 years. And Eric's been able to do all those things as well as open his own business.
Let's talk about, where Eric might be if there wasn't a program like Strive.
Well, somebody like Eric's pretty successful and pretty determined, so I'd like to think he'd be successful regardless, but sometimes our programs are just enough to put somebody, give somebody the training that they need to really put them over the top so that they can be, reach their dreams that they want, that they've set. And Eric set some goals and was able to work to accommodate those, and but he's got a lot of support from the community, certainly not just us, that he's built through this project, and it's really been amazing to watch.
Well, it's a funny thing. I have a grandson who's part of the Strive program. He's a year younger than Eric, and they were friends. And Eric came to me with his dad, and he asked me, this must go back 5 or 6 years ago, he had a business plan for this venture. And he asked me if I would help him / put my name on it. I've never done that before for anybody. I read his business plan, called him back, and I said, you got it, we do it. And we've done it, and the rest is history.
And what I love about it too is it's a team. You're a team, and you're not giving him a handout. This is a business.
I sell him. He pays me every week. He's totally independent on his own. All I do is supply him.
So what do you do? So when you need more pizza, do you give them a call? What do you do?
Yes, we call them and I say like I need 1 cheese or 1 pepperoni or 1 half cheese, half pepperoni or some stuff like, yeah. Okay. My mom and dad are great and my sister's really great. So they help me with this a lot, and my dad works for Strive part-time, so he can come down here and help if I need it, so.
Bill, is this one of your favorite places to be?
I love being here. It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's fun being with Eric, and it's kind of become a family thing for us, especially on weekends when the cruise ships are in.
But is it wonderful to work alongside your son living his dream?
Absolutely. A lot of people made this happen, and it's very fulfilling. My wife and I, we had a lot of big dreams for Eric, you know, growing up, and they've really come true. More so than we could have thought of. Eric's an Eagle Scout in Boy Scouts, and he had that support. He did really well in school. Then to connect with Anthony and his family and especially Strive and what Eric learned at Strive. I mean, Eric lives independently in the community. He has his own apartment.
Yeah, I think Eric, obviously, very independent-minded and goal-oriented. But do you think, without Strive, do you think he would have been able to do this, do you think?
Not to the extent that he has done it. We certainly would have done everything we could have, but if you have children, you know that you take care of them more than you should, and you know the level of independence that Eric has achieved by going through Strive. Again, both in his living arrangement and in this business is not something I think we could have done.
I mean, nobody's goal, you know, when they're growing up in high school is to, you know, I want to sit around and rely on the community to support me. And, you know, Eric's like everybody else, you know, and a lot of our students are just like anybody else. You know, they want a good job, they want a healthy relationship, they want to get ahead, they want to, you know, an apartment, you know, they want to have a social life. And Eric has all those things and more. You know, he wanted to do that. He wanted to own his own business, and I'd like to think that we've just been able to make some of the connections to make that happen for him.
Talk a little bit about Eric's, you know, personality. He's just... Well,
Eric's personality is the biggest thing. He's got a lot of things going for him, but since he's been little, his personality has just drawn people. And, you know, my wife and I, and Eric, and my daughter Kate, we worked hard as a family to kind of shape that personality a little bit, and it has, you know, resulted in people, you know, really wanting to be with Eric and to interact with him, and he's just... You know, I'm obviously a little biased, but he's great to be with. And so that personality has, you know, lent to this, to people wanting to support him in many different ways.
Oh, yeah, that good dad do a nice job?
Yeah.
Yeah, he do. You like hanging out with dad?
Yes, I do.
I bet you do. All right, what's the sort of most popular kind of pizza?
I think cheese or pepperoni.
Because my personal is pepperoni. What about yours?
Cheese.
Cheese. So that seems to go the most, those flavors. Yeah, and what's your busiest day? I understand it's a cruise ship day?
Yes, those are very busy days.
We're all proud that you are an incredible landmark.
Thank
in the city
you.
of Portland. You're welcome. You're welcome. Once you meet Eric, it's hard not to instantly love him and his infectious personality. So if you're hungry, looking for a slice, and you're in Portland, just head to the corner of Commercial Street and Franklin Arterial, and you can also follow Eric on Facebook. We'll be right back with the answer to our trivia question, what does Linda Greenlaw do every Tuesday evening? What does Linda Greenlaw do every Tuesday evening? She takes piano lessons. Thank you for joining us for Split Screen. If you'd like to see some behind-the-scene photos, or also if you know of someone you'd like to see featured on Split Screen, go to shannonmoss.com. We'll see you next time.